Hi, this is Karl Bimshas, and thanks for joining us with 10 questions to help busy professionals act on purpose. Just a quick little presentation to get you thinking about your purpose and seeing if you're on track or not. You know, when you run a small business or a large department, or even just kind of getting through the day, sometimes you feel a little run down, and sometimes you're kind of wondering what's the point. And I hear it from a lot of people, like they're not sure what their purpose is. Well, I want to run through these 10 questions because you might not be that far off, or maybe you are. So let's just get started and figure it out. So the first question, and you might want to jot your impressions down as you run through these. But the first question: do you know what you're good at and what energizes you? There's something, even if you have a lousy day, that kind of lifts you up and increases your spirits a little bit. Maybe it's a good conversation with people. Maybe it's being alone with a good book. Maybe it's writing. Maybe it's swimming. Some type of activity, though, energizes you. And there are some things that you're good at. You might not be surrounded by people who think you're good at it, or you're not getting the right kind of inspiration. You're not getting the right kind of support from other people. But there's things that you know intuitively that you're good at. So why don't you jot a couple of those down or keep that in mind. Second question: do you regularly utilize your best skills? Now, here's the whole point. There's skills that you have, and there's some things that you're pretty good at, and there's some things that you're pretty lousy at, if we're being honest, right? And, some things you do have to improve. If you're below the water line and you're taking on water, you're going to have to patch the hole and fix those things. But a vast majority of the things that you're being tasked to work on, you're probably not very good at, and you should probably not be doing them. Now, that's easier said than done. If you're in charge of your own life and running your own business or something like that, you might have a little bit more flexibility. But the point is, we should all be trying to move toward more of what we're good at and doing less of what we're bad at. And so, are you regularly utilizing your best skills? So that's question 2. Question 3: are your interests and the issues you care deeply about furthered by your work? So this is just really to see, is there alignment between what you're doing, what you're spending your time doing, and what you care about, what you're interested in? Now, there doesn't have to be. A lot of people think that there has to be very strong alignment between your work and your passions. It's great if there is, but there doesn't have to be, so don't get hung up by that. But in terms of working on your purpose, is what you're doing moving things forward that you care about? If you care about kids, are you doing things that are helping kids with education or health or whatever it is? If you care about pets, are you doing the same thing? Or is your work taking you further away from your interests? So just something to consider there. Number 4, are you making a difference in the world through your work? Now, this is the whole make a dent in the universe thing. And, don't think of it in that grand a scheme. You can if you're highly ambitious, and hopefully you are. I'm big into the 10x thinking. But don't get caught up in that and get all woe is me if you're not. Because why don't you start with where you are? So are you making a difference, to the people in your world through your work? It could just be members of your team or people who you're interacting with, customers or vendors or teammates or whoever it might be. Are you making a difference in their lives? Start there. Number 5, are you enthusiastic most days? Now, look, let's face it, every day is not going to be a bowl of cherries, You're not going to be thrilled every single day. But hopefully you do have more good days than bad days, and hopefully there is some enthusiasm more days of the month than there are these bummer days. And so just think about it. Was it a good week? Even just take this past week. Did you have more good days or more bad days? And if you don't know, well, start tracking it next week so that you do know, because you can't really make decisions just based on whim. You don't want to be that kind of person, do you? Number 6. Have you developed your own philosophy or guiding principle? Now, I'm a big believer in this. You kind of have to know what you stand for. You've got to develop your own point of view. Kind of like, what are the things that are important to you? What do you stand for? What do you stand against? What is important in your life? By the way, I've got some resources. If you go to learnfromkarl.com, and that's Karl with a K, which you should know by now, but learnfromkarl.com, and there's a resource there that helps kind of get with some goal setting and some point of view on your leadership and all that, and helps you start thinking about that. So if that interests you, check that out. Number 7, are you living by that philosophy? So you may have spent some time developing about it, thinking about it, pontificating on your philosophy. That's great and important, but eventually you're going to actually act on it and live by it. And these come out in your values and all that. And so if you've got great philosophy, but you're acting opposite of that, you're not congruent with it, that's going to be a problem, and you're not going to feel like you're, on purpose there. Number 8, do you have a sense of meaning and purpose? Now, maybe you don't, and that's why you're checking out this quick video. You can turn that into a purpose right there. But I think if you think deeply instead of deep thinking, you can do both. Do you have a sense of meaning? There's things that are important to you. Now, it's probably one or more of 3 things. Maybe with what you're currently doing or what you'd like to be doing is just keep learning. Increase your knowledge around a particular subject matter or cause or something, right? The other one is, maybe you don't really like what you're doing, but you love the people that you're with. It's your tribe, if you will. It's they're your people. They're people that you enjoy contributing with your peers. That you just have a great time. You get in the flow. It just feels right. It's a good family. That can go a long way toward helping you have a sense of meaning and sense of purpose. Or it might be you just want to leave your mark, leave an imprint. Work on something that's a little bit bigger than you, so that you're kind of working on your legacy. Those are generally, one or more of those things. And you're probably in pretty good shape as far as your purpose goes. Number 9, do you have active goals which relate to your purpose? So, here's where a lot of people screw it up. They might have a fantastic purpose. They know exactly what they want to do and why they're here and what they want to accomplish, but their goals don't reflect that, which, when you think about it, is kind of stupid, right? So pay attention to your goals. Make sure they're your goals, not somebody else's, and make sure that those goals are aligned to your purpose. Make it simple, people. Don't get too crazy with it. Number 10, are you living your life to the fullest today instead of hoping things will work out someday? Then the answer might be yes, the answer might be no, but this is the kind of leadership component of the questions here. We've got limited time. We don't know what the end point is going to be for each of us. Now, that's kind of what led some of the excitement to what we do, right? But are you going to take charge and take each day knowing that there's a limited amount of time and utilizing it to the best of your ability? Or are you going to hang out on a place where, like Dennis Waitley used to call someday I'll, someday I'll get to it. Someday I'll, hanging out in the hammock instead of actually working on your goals and the things that you want to accomplish. So those are 10 questions for you to reflect on. I do have a free worksheet that you can download. If you go to bit.ly, action on purpose, use all capitals on that, big letters, act on purpose, at this bit.ly link, and you can download this same questions, just with a little a coding there with a yes or no, and or I don't know, and then you can turn your the things that you're unsure about, you can turn them into an action plan. And if you're not sure what you're doing, well, having some action and working towards something is a great way of finding purpose. See, the whole point is I want to make sure that you're acting on purpose, not by accident. So I hope this helps. This has been Karl Bimshas. Thanks for listening, and keep advancing confidently in the direction of your dreams and help others along the way.